Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Inside the Bad Idea Factory, a look at the inner workings and news from West Virginia's government. My name is Ryan Deems. I am a teacher, former political candidate, and political news junkie from Clarksburg, West Virginia. The goal of this podcast is to provide you with a look at things happening within our government. In future episodes, we will cover individual bills and newsworthy political events throughout the state. In this first episode, we're going to take a little bit of time to review how our state government works. There are a lot of similarities to the federal government, but also some key differences. Just like the federal government, our state government has three branches: the executive, legislative, and judicial. In West Virginia, the governor is the head of the executive branch. Like the President of the United States in the federal government, the governor is responsible for monitoring the daily operations of the state and is the most visible person in state government. Our state's judicial branch is made up of many layers of different courts. At the top, we have a 5-member Supreme Court that is elected by popular vote for 12-year terms. Right below that court is a newly introduced Intermediate Court of Appeals that will begin operations for the first time on July 1st, 2022. Below that is a system of circuit and magistrate courts that are all elected positions. The legislative branch is made up of two bodies, the West Virginia House of Delegates and the West Virginia State Senate. This is a part-time legislature, meaning it only meets for a certain amount of time each year. The regular session of the West Virginia legislature lasts 60 days each year and usually runs from mid-January to mid-March, although those dates change the year after the election of a governor. The West Virginia House of Delegates is the largest house with 100 members. Each member is elected to a 2-year term and must run for re-election in each election. At the time of recording, the House is made up of a mix of single-member and multi-member districts. Starting with this primary election, the House will be made up of 100 single-member districts, and each delegate will represent approximately 17,000 people. The West Virginia State Senate has 34 members. The state is split into 17 senatorial districts, with 2 senators being elected from each. If there are more than 2 counties in the district, no more than 1 sitting senator can live in a county at a time. Senators are elected to 4-year terms and often represent multiple counties. For a bill to become law, it must first be introduced in either the House or the Senate. Once it's introduced, it will be sent to at least one committee in that body. While in committee, the bill will be debated, experts can testify about the impact it may have, and amendments can be offered. To leave the committee process and go to the floor, it must pass through each committee it was assigned to with a simple majority vote. Once a bill has gone through the committee process, it is brought back to the floor. Unless there are enough votes to suspend the rules, the bill must go through 3 readings, each on separate days. Generally, a bill is not actually read on the floor, but any member of the chamber can be asked for the bill to be read in its entirety. This can be a time-consuming process and is usually done in protest of some issue the member has. During the second reading of a bill, any member can offer an amendment to the bill. Members may speak for or against each amendment, and this process could take hours. An amendment to the bill will take place if it receives a yes from the majority of the chamber. Unless a bill is sent to third reading with the right to amend, this is the last time the bill will change. During the third reading of a bill, members will have an opportunity to speak for or against the bill. These discussions can become fiery and passionate. At the end of a debate, a vote will be taken. If the proposed bill receives a majority of the yes votes, it has passed that chamber. It is then sent to the other chamber, who will repeat the whole process. If it also receives a majority of the yes votes there, it goes to the desk of the governor. If there have been any changes to the bill during the process in the other chamber, the changes must be agreed upon by the chamber that originally passed the bill. If the changes are not accepted by a majority of the members of that chamber, a conference committee will be established. 3 members of the House and 3 members from the Senate will be assigned to the committee to find agreement. If the committee agrees to changes, the bill will be sent back to each chamber for approval. If the committee cannot agree, the bill dies and will not become law during that session. Once a bill has reached the governor, he has three options. First, he can sign the bill and it becomes a law. Second, he can veto the bill. It will be sent back to the legislature, and both chambers can override the veto with a simple majority in favor. The other option is for the governor to not sign the bill, but it becomes law because he did not act on it in 10 days. This can be used to show that you do not approve of something, but you are aware it will probably become law anyway. This was most famously done by Governor Justice in 2017 with the budget bill. Although he paraded a gold platter of cow poop out to symbolize his disgust with the budget, he allowed it to become law to keep the state government operating. I hope you found this introduction to our state government to be informative and helpful. Our state government is so important because it really affects our day to day lives much more than a lot of policies at the federal level. And it is important to have a strong foothold of understanding in your state government when you're following the legislature. So I hope you follow along with us as we talk about the legislative session and the government in West Virginia next time on Inside the Bad Idea Factory.